all options, and very soon it will be communicated.
When you say considering all options, what do you mean?
All options, because you see, for us, it's not a pleasant situation if anybody has to have a power outage for even 30 minutes or an hour. And so we would rather do everything to ensure that the situation is restored to normalcy. So as we are considering all options to ensure that the best decision is taken for the people of Ghana. We've had the calls for a timetable. We have considered everything. We continue to consider it.
Again, the consideration is what I don't understand, because Nana, we know the amount of load we are shedding this morning. We know the exact shortfall. There's a communication from Gridco to ECG that they can't supply this much, so ECG is shedding a specific amount of load. They know when they will shed the load. They know the stations that they will shed the loads at. Why can't the people of Ghana know?
Now, you may have realized, for example, that on Saturday and Sunday we had quite significant load shedding. On Monday during the day was also quite significant. On Monday in the evening it improved, and as we speak, the situation is continuing to improve. So as I've said, we'll consider all options and then come out to the best.
Yes, so we acknowledge that the power cuts over the weekend were much worse than the power cuts now. That's great. It shows that work is going on. But Nana, there are still businesses which do not have power and do not know how to plan because they don't know when their lights will go off. What do you have to say to those people?
I agree with you. And from the position of the Honorable Minister and the Ministry, we have apologized and we continue to apologize to the people of Ghana. This morning, I'm not going to attempt to re-explain the matters, but as you may be aware, we've already said that it is an unfortunate situation. It shouldn't have happened. We tried to put measures in place to ensure that this is resolved. There has been a slip, and we are experiencing this as it has happened. We apologize gravely and seriously for what is ongoing, and we are doing everything possible to ensure that the situation is restored to normalcy. Critically, what we have done is to give Ghanaians that, originally when all of this started, we said between 10 to 12 days, the matter will be dealt with. And we continue to stick by that timeline. Not only have we just given you a timeline, but we're actually also going further to show you the kind of works that are being done and also let you know the reasons why. Now, Daniel, if you may take your mind a little bit back, you may have become aware of a story that became an issue of banter just about a few weeks ago, if my memory serves me right, where we were told that about $40 million a month was being spent on ENI gas, and we disputed the figures. Do you remember that, Daniel?
Yes.
Okay, now that is as a result of stranded gas. Now, we have our own gas coming from the ENI fields and then the traditional Jubilee fields, among others. Now, when this gas gets to Takoradi, it gets stranded because there was no connection to enable reverse flow from Takoradi to Tema. So we have plants in Tema that can use gas, that have to rely on gas from either Nigeria, and when we have challenges with that, we have to rely on liquid fuels, be it HFO, be it diesel, be it light crude oil, among others. Now, this is an additional cost that was coming to the state because already we have to pay some amount for the gas that is stranded in Takoradi. Yes, it is not being necessarily wasted. We are deferring the consumption. But at the same moment, we are going to have to pay for fuel that would go to the Tema enclave to ensure that electricity generation is maintained. The current works that are ongoing will ensure that after this connection and the time, the gas that is normally stranded in Takoradi from Atuabo, after it travels about 110 kilometers from Atuabo to Takoradi, can now move in a reverse direction from Takoradi to Tema. This would therefore ensure that generally we have a more stable power situation because of the easy availability of fuel. And also moving forward, it is generally known that the cost of gas is less than that of liquid fuel. So we can expect that some reliability and some cost effectiveness will come in there. To enable this connection to happen, we had to engage in a shutdown, and that is what has resulted ultimately in these challenges that we are seeing. As a ministry, let me once again say this, that we regret the current circumstances under which people have to live their lives. Remember, Daniel, we have family, we have friends. You're my friend, Daniel. We went to school together, and it's a very painful situation when we realize that as a result of this project that is being done, people, are suffering a lot of discomfort. And for that, we gravely want to apologize for that. This was never meant to be, but we gravely want to apologize for that.
Great.
We are considering all our options to ensure that the people of Ghana will get the best within the shortest possible time. Listen, Daniel, I want to state this, and the minister re-emphasized this yesterday, that come what may, latest by the 12th of April, all of these matters will be dealt with. And we would plead that the people of Ghana bear with us. It is not just that we've forgotten about all available measures in the interim, so that we have gone to sleep because there's a construction going on. As I have said, and I want to emphasize this, we are deeply sorry, but we are considering all available measures. As you can see, and I'm very happy that you've admitted, the situation is improving, and it means that we are doing work. We haven't gone to bed, and I would gravely want to appeal to the people of Ghana this morning to stand with us in these difficult times.
Nana, so it's a great explanation you're giving. But between now and the 12th of April, I would have you know that I know a specific company. Okay, so do I still have Nana Dama on the line? Unfortunately, I lost him. It's 8:08 here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. We are making the point to get him back. So what Nana Dama has said is that in the first place, they are considering all options in giving a timetable. We are still trying to clearly understand what those options are. What are the things that prevent government from letting us know that between now and the 12th of April, when this period of erratic power supply is scheduled to end, we can't be made aware of when our lights will go off in our homes. However, he also went ahead to explain the reasoning behind the work at Atwabo in the first place, which is the technology being installed called a tie-in that will enable gas to flow from Takoradi to Tema. This would enable that gas to power the power plant in Tema, and it will invariably reduce the cost of electricity to us because it's cheaper to power our power plant with gas than with crude or with heavy fuel oil, whichever form of oil that we use. However, the critical question of the reason why we can't have a timetable has not been answered. And so we are trying to get Nana Dama back on the line to deal with that issue quickly. You also heard him say that over the past few months, Ghana has been incurring a cost of about $40 million, which was disputed. The figure is actually $35 million. And that is going to be cured with this tie-in technology that is being installed. We have Nana Dama back on the line. We are going to continue. Nana, finally on the issue of the timetable, I would just like to know, what is stopping government? What are the options that is preventing government from simply letting us know that we won't have lights between 8 and 10 or between this time and this time in this area?
Okay, thank you very much, Daniel. There was a little bit of an explanation that I left out. Now, it is not necessary. It is not only for the reason of just the time work that this is being done. The works that are being done at Atwabo are also very exciting for future prospects because what has been done at Atwabo is to enable all of us.
Nana, with the greatest of respect, I know that you want to tell us about the exciting future prospects in Atwabo, but can you come to the question I asked first before you get there, so that we know exactly what is stopping us from releasing a timetable before you get to the exciting Daniel. Prospects? Thank you.
Hello, Daniel.
Yes, Nana.
Hello, Daniel.
Yes, Nana, you're on air.
Hello, Daniel.
Yeah, Nana, you're on air.
Okay, yes. I couldn't hear you as you're asking the question.
Great. I was saying that we would really like to know about these exciting prospects happening at Atwabo. We've lost Nana Dama again. Unfortunately, we would get him back on the line to try and get him to answer our questions. But it's 8:04. This is the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. Our guest On the phone lines is Nana Damoah. He is Public Relations Officer of the Energy Ministry. We are simply asking a question that really has been asked by many Ghanaians, particularly in the business community. I actually interacted with some business people who told me that in the period of erratic power supply, they lost about $10 million. That figure keeps going higher. This is a very large industrial company in Ghana. So they speak very big figures. You can understand that. And as and when, the more they lose money, the more they look at cutting costs, which could mean, laying off workers and what have you. I don't know where Nana is right now, but it seems like his phone lines are very unstable. We have him back on the line. We'll try and get him to address that issue. Okay, so we've lost him again.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Yeah. Challenge a come on for a light. Anytime I force to be your light.
It's 5 minutes past 8 here on the Super Morning Show. We are still working the phone lines. It's now becoming difficult to establish a connection with Nana in the first place. So let me throw the question to you. Are you satisfied with the responses that you've heard from Nana Damoah? To be honest, for some of the explanations that we were hearing, there were still a few questions we could ask. Because I, for instance, wanted to ask, after we had dealt with the timetable issue, why we have to wait for construction at Atuabo in the first place before we can get a stable power supply from the 12th of April. Because I will refer to the Energy Minister's statement on the floor of Parliament 2 weeks ago when he was going to explain the then power outage situation. He said that we have 4,700 megawatts available capacity. We have 2,641 megawatts so a 4,700 installed capacity, 2,600 available, and we have 2,600 megawatts demand. At the moment, for the extra 2,000 that we are not using, we are paying $25 million every month for this excess capacity. So why are we not using this excess capacity? And why do we have to wait for Atuabo to kick in before we can use this excess capacity? So that was also something that I wanted to find out. But you've listened to Nana. What do you think? I'm going to open the phone lines in a moment. 0302-216-541, 0244-340-437, 0302-216-541, 0244-340-437. Jeff asks, Daniel, which is more important, a timetable, a schedule, or solving the erratic power supply? I'm going to share that question with Ben Ashenabrentu, who has joined us in the studio. Perhaps we should be more focused on the fact that the problem will be solved than the fact that we would have a timetable in the interim.
Of course, I mean, that's always been my position, that as a consumer who is paid adequately for power, what I expect is power. But I must also say that as public, we need to be reasonable with our expectation. Listening to your conversation with Mr. Damoah, this is not the best of time for public relations. I can understand where he finds himself, but of course it's his job to speak to the situation. He apologized. For me, that is great. As public officers, we need to know how to assuage the pain of the people. We need to use platitudes when it matters. We need to calm nerves. We need to ensure that the people are relaxed for what is happening, even if it is not providing answers. I will always go for this posture, this type of discussion, rather than when we do not hear anything, rather than when we don't understand exactly what is going on. So for me, I think that it's good that they are ready to engage. It's good that they are profiling solution. But it comes down to this, that we need our power back, which of course that answer will be above Nana's pay grade, because ultimately he is not the Minister of Power or the engineers working on site to ensure that we get the right responses. If you listen to the kind of explanations that he was giving to us, that they have problem at the Atuabo site and that they are also working to improve technology in terms of the tie-in method technology that they want to install, ultimately is going to improve our power infrastructure, not just for the moment but also for the future. This should be exciting, but nobody seems to believe them, or nobody seems to take them very much serious. Also because of past experiences. If in the past you gave us explanations and those explanations ultimately ultimately did not inure to our benefit, or you did not keep to those kinds of promises, what is the basis for us to believe you now, even if what you are telling us immediately is true? I remember the first time you had your conversation with a PDS man. He told you,
William Boateng.
yes, I think that was on the 13th of March. He told us that the problem was because the west line had been cut.
I hate to do this to you, but we've
That's
gotten
okay.
Nana Damwa
That's
back
okay.
on the
That's
line.
okay.
Yes, let's go back to Nana. Nana, I hope we are in a place with good cell service now.
I hope so too. I was driving initially, but I've had to park, and I hope that the line now is better.
Great. So I just wanted to know what is stopping us from, releasing a timetable before we go to other issues.
Well, we are consulting. We are consulting with ECG, PDS, and all the relevant stakeholders. That's why I said that we are considering all options. I believe that originally PDS has ECG/PDS has a mechanism for informing the people of Ghana as to when power outages are going to occur, and so we are consulting with them, and we'll make sure the right thing is done.
So this is PDS's decision to make now.
I'm not saying it is a PDS decision to make. I am saying that we are consulting with them because, as you are aware, when load is being shared, it is being shared between GridCo and PDS, and they will have the raw data. And so we are consulting with them on what the challenges are at that point, and then they would inform the people of Ghana at the relevant point.
Okay. We'd have to move on from this subject at a point, from this particular question at a point. So we'll do that now.
And Daniel, if you just spare me a minute.
Yeah.
Let me at this stage seek to say that we're also a little bit concerned about some media reportage that has gone on. There's a story out there that the Honorable Deputy Minister of Energy, Honorable William Orekwedu, has branded Ghanaians as intolerant. I do not believe that story in the manner, or the headline in the manner that it has been presented, actually refers the context in which he said that. What actually was said was that, yes, about right now, the people of Ghana have become intolerant of doom so, and that is the rightful thing for them to do, and they should continue to hold us to task for the promises that we have made to them. He also went ahead to apologize for the current situation. But we've seen, not necessarily on your network, but we've seen some stories going around suggesting that the Honorable William Orekwedu has branded Ghanaians as just intolerant. And I would call for a little bit of caution in this reporter. These are sensitive times. It's a difficult period. And we as a ministry are not about to go about, to be arrogant or to be nonchalant about these situations. We apologize for it. We are extremely concerned, and we are continuing to work on a daily basis to ensure that this situation is resolved.
Let me set this preamble before asking my next question, okay, Nana. To our listeners, I know that this may seem a bit belated because the point is that we don't have power, and we have heard assurances from the ministry that on the 12th of April we'll have regular power supply. But what we want to seek to do at this point is try and understand better why we are in the situation we are in, so that in the future it can inform our decisions and inform our questions. Nana, why do we have to wait for the construction at Atuabo to finish before we can get power?
Daniel, it will be, I don't know if you know that we have already gone through about 20 days of partial load shedding before this event happened. But we had already gone through about 20 days of partial shutdown, with our gas infrastructure. Now, with that partial shutdown that occurred, naturally, if measures were not in place, we should have felt it before this total shutdown process began. The honest truth of it is that measures were put in place, but there have been some delays with some processes, and I'm not sure that what your listeners want to know at this moment is explanations upon explanations, because as you're aware, people just want their lights on, and no form of explanation is going to let them forgive us for this error that
yes.
has occurred. So what we would say is that yes, we take responsibility for it and we apologize. The Honorable Minister has been very forthcoming in saying that we are sorry to the good people of Ghana that this has happened. At the press conference as well, the Honorable Deputy Minister of Energy was also very clear and categorical that we are sorry that this has happened. We are under we are not under any imagination that this is not having any effect, because we have families too, and we understand that this is having quite an effect on people. That is why I am saying that we are considering all options, and we are working very hard to ensure that even as we have given you a 12-day deadline, you have admitted this morning that the situation is getting better indeed, and we continue to work very hard to ensure that it gets better.
Great. So I set the stage. Okay, now I am being disputed because Nana from Spintex Road says Sunday power went off at East Airport at 8 a.m. till 6 p.m. Monday power went off from 8 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Then about 10 p.m. for 4 hours. During this period, we had no water as well for days. Okay, and she makes reference to Presidents Kofo and Mahama. So I mean, there are still So observations have been made in some parts of the country, but there are still some people who are facing this issue. I wish Nana would update us on what is happening now. But you see, I made that acknowledgement that ultimately we want power, but let's try and understand the issue better, so that in the future we know how to inform our questions as well, because this is the situation we have. You are saying that we had some constraints. That's why after the partial shutdown at Atwabo, we have to go through this process now. What were those constraints that we had?
Okay, now, Daniel, let me contextualize my statement well for you, because I do not think that you've understood it. What I've said is that we had a partial shutdown within the gas infrastructure. Now, that meant that gas that was coming or gas that was available was not in the quantities that was needed. But even within those number of days of partial shutdown, we did not have the difficulties that we are seeing now. Now we have moved from a partial shutdown to a total shutdown. We had contingency measures put in place that should have ensured that we did not go through these difficulties. However, there have been some delays in the processes, some delivery of fuel delayed, among others. And we are taking responsibility for it, and we are telling the people of Ghana that this is unfortunate. Once again, let me underscore the fact that this is not what we promised the people of Ghana. There have been severe delays, and we need to let them understand that we acknowledge it. We acknowledge it, first of all. Secondly, we are working very hard to ensure that this situation is resolved. We have given a timeline of latest by the 12th of April. But as you yourself have been kind enough and helpful enough to admit this morning, the situation is actually improving from when it started on Saturday. This is not a pleasant thing, but we would continue to apologize to the people of Ghana.
Okay, so this was because of a delay in fuel supply. That's what you said. Among other things.
Yes.
Okay, so the suppliers who delayed the supply of fuel, what has happened with them? Are we looking at the contracts with them?
Our concentration at this moment is to ensure that the people of Ghana are back to that reliable power supply that we promised them.
Great.
When we are done with dealing with that measure, you can be sure that we would, as is the norm in this ministry and with all other agencies, we will ensure that we look at the situation and all the necessary measures that have to be taken will be taken. But at this moment, the concentration of my minister, the concentration of his deputy ministers, and everybody here is to ensure that we restore Ghanaians back to reliable power supply.
Great.
And when we are done, we'll take it from there.
I have just one more question. The CEO of the Tema Oil Refinery, Isaac Osei, mentioned that some liters of fuel have been received by Tor and are being forwarded to some of these power plants like AXA and what have you. From my conversations with industry experts, I understand that most of these power plants, they do their procurements of fuel separately, and so they have their own storage and they have their own mode of delivering fuel to them. Why is Tor playing this role now?
Okay, now you see the technicalities of the power sector are quite interesting, but I do not believe that the question that you are asking is to doubt what Mr. Isaac Osei said. Generally, what I can tell you is that, for example, not all the plants run permanently on fuel. There are some that can run on gas, and so if we are to make a shift from gas, and some of them are dualized, so if you are to make a shift from gas to to liquid fuel, it takes a couple of hours and a number of days. And even the fuel, when it comes, has to go through some processes among others. It is a delay in some of these things that cause the outages that we have seen. As we speak, we are working to ensure that that situation is resolved. Make no bones about this. At the energy minister, the ministry, we are very consumed by this matter. And at this moment, all efforts are being concentrated in ensuring that this matter is resolved. It's the number one priority at this point, because the promise that we made to the people of Ghana, the reason why we are here sitting here and I have a job here at this ministry, is to ensure that some of these things are being delivered. So we look at this from a very serious point of view. That is why we are saying that we are doing our very best to ensure that this matter is resolved within the shortest possible time.
My question is still unanswered about why TOR is playing that role, Nana.
TOR traditionally has been storing fuel for a lot of companies in this country, including some power plants. And sometimes when we have emergencies, you have to call on them to make available storage capacity for some of these things to them as well. Some of these fuels have to go through some treatments that can only be done at TOR. That is one of the reasons why we are going through the current process that we are going. But let me once again state clearly that we are very committed to ensuring that this problem is resolved within the shortest possible time. I want to make sure that this point is understood. That we
and it's been made very clear.
Thank you. We apologize sincerely. We apologize sincerely to the good people of Ghana. The Honorable Minister has been very categorical in that apology. The Honorable Deputy Minister has been very categorical in that apology. We deem it quite unfortunate that some media reportage out there has sought to portray a certain level of arrogance and intolerance. Let me assure the people of Ghana that that is not the case whatsoever. Anybody that knows the Deputy Minister in charge of power would tell you that that is the last thing that we will do. The Honorable Minister has also been very categorical. And we want the people of Ghana to ensure that as we speak, we are working continuously to ensure that this situation is resolved. We understand the effect it has on the people of Ghana. We duly understand.
So TOR's involvement is an emergency matter?
Not necessarily. TOR is for storage of fuel, particularly when it is brought in large quantities. When fuel is brought in in very large quantities, we bring TOR in to store the fuel and deliver to the plant on an as and when basis. But when they are very, very large fuel being brought in, TOR has that capacity to be able to take in that large quantity and then distribute when it is called upon to do so.
Okay, Nana, this text just came in on the console. I think it will be fair to have you address it because this person says, Daniel, believe me, just after the 12th date, they will tell us they have scheduled maintenance on some plants to justify a continuation of the outages. What will be your response?
Daniel, let's not confuse a little bit of a matter here. We have some localized faults that do okay. When the localized faults do okay, usually you see the notices by PDS saying that within these areas, these are the affected areas because there are small affected areas within which these things happen. What we are seeing today is entirely different from those localized faults. Listen, Ghana is used at this moment to reliable power supply. That is why now we are up in arms that there are intermittent power outages, but we are used to reliable power supply. It doesn't, however, mean that Ghana at this point in time can go through a situation where for a whole year, for instance, there's no power outage in various areas because our infrastructure cannot support that level of efficiency as we speak. We are working towards it. Now, remember, we were in Doomsor for about 4 or 5 years, which was a period of unreliable power supply. For the last 2.5 years or so, we have become used to reliable power supply. It is on the basis that the Honorable Deputy Minister stated clearly that Ghanaians have become intolerant of doing so, and that is clear because promises were made and we expect that to be delivered. But we haven't gotten to that stage where we can say that power will not go off. We are working towards that. That is why, for instance, a few weeks ago, we told you that the 330 kVA line from Akosombo to Tema was being worked on. We've also had to do some work around the country. All of this is part of a process of working towards that ultimate vision of ensuring that we can have stable light throughout every day, every time. It's a long-term project. We will not get there in today or tomorrow or in a year. But it's a long-term project that we are working towards. If you look at how we have worked to stabilize the power sector, what has happened is we have managed to move us from a period of unreliable power supply to reliable power supply. With a reliable power supply, at the moment, we are having some challenges which we are working to fix. Once all of these are dealt with, we will move forward to ensure that we are moving towards that permanently stable power supply that will become the benchmark for all of us. That is why we continue to appeal to the people of Ghana that when these challenges come, please work with us. We will try as much as possible to put in place all the contingent measures to ensure that you have reliable power supply. Bear in mind the fact that, Daniel, we have even worked to reduce electricity tariffs in the not so long ago. And the objective of doing that was to ensure that the people of Ghana can have more and more power. It will therefore be very defeatist for us to sit down and ensure that now that we have reduced tariffs for the people of Ghana to enjoy the power itself is not available.
Okay.
It is these challenges that we are having, and we will bear with it. We will ask the people of Ghana, bear with us for this short period of time.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I can also understand the skepticism because, people feel that we are continuing to give reasons and excuses, and it is all a ploy to continue to deceive them. But let me, at this juncture, give the highest regards that is not the case. We genuinely have challenges, which is why we have not been shy to carry with us media men to take them to the various places to actually see what is happening. I'm grateful to you, Daniel.
I am very grateful, Nana, that you joined us.
UTV complaining about Dumsa. Mix me Ghana minko. Niemu ye ngedi me beko. No, generator the minko. It no be you now you proclaim 2015 to be a success year. Now see what they do here and there. Musicians here come see everyone here. See, Ghana is not your own. So you first stop controlling your loan. You can do this when you are on your own, so you could have do the right thing before fire upon you.
26 minutes past 8. 26 minutes past 8 here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. So you've heard Nana Damoah explaining one key point that, Achena, one of the reasons why we are in this situation now is that there was a delay in fuel supply. That's why we didn't get the HFO and LCO to replace the gas that we were not getting from Atwam.
And also the point that once you even get the gas, or if you like the petroleum, it must go through some processes. For me, most of the time, public officers put themselves in this kind of difficulty because of their own utterances. Because you see, it was precisely this point that the ministry was trying to rebut, which got the minister to say that those who are saying that fuel is not we are experiencing this particular situation because of fuel, he describing them in terms like balderdash and all of that. He says that it doesn't make sense for anybody at all to make that kind of assumption that we have this kind of situation because the fuel is just unavailable. And then you hear a spokesperson for the same ministry coming back days after that to say that the problem is that in part because fuel supply actually delayed. The only difference, though, from what ASAP rep said and this one is that this one contractors delayed it and he was saying we do not have the money to buy it. I don't really think that public officers do themselves any good when they try, as it were, to control the truth or, as it were, to manage it. I think that maybe as politicians, we're looking at the next election. Daniel, let me tell you this. The only reason why it's become very difficult for public officers to completely say that we will not announce a timetable is that if you should announce a timetable now, that this is the schedule for the doomsday we are experiencing, then officially what you are saying is that we are in a regime of doomsday. In the absence,
it's quite obvious that we are. I think that though you're talking as if there's a certain sort of denial going on, that if you bring out a timetable, then you are saying that perhaps there is doomsday. I'm sorry, but for those people who do not have lights for 12 hours in a day, they are in a state of doomsday, regardless of what you call it. Doomsday, lights off, exclusive, localized, whatever. It is the point is our lights are going off. off.
Exactly.
All we're asking for is that give us some indication. It doesn't even have to be 100%, but if you can say at least, okay, perhaps on Tuesday you may have some lights off, on Thursday you may have, it gives people the space to plan. It is why, for example, if you're a nurse or if you're a doctor and you're treating a patient, you tell them, Achina, I'm about to give you an injection. It's going to hurt a little bit. Well, we say a little pinch. It's going to hurt a little bit. You prepare your mind, you prepare your soul, you get the injection, you move on. That's all we're asking for. Just talk to us. Tell us that, this is what's going on. You may have some lights off, so you might want to freeze your food, or you might want to charge up your power bank, or you may want to charge up your laptop. Not everybody has a generator. What if you need to work and you need to power up? I don't think it's unreasonable for us. Let's forget what we're calling it or what we're not calling it. I don't think it's unreasonable for us to say, give us some indication of when you are going to turn off the lights. And I am not convinced that they can say that, oh, we do not know, because you have an idea of what is in the system and how you're distributing it. And if you don't know, then please find out on our behalf. Exactly. So that you can give us some idea.
Let me invite, Achina, before you continue, let me invite listeners into this one. 0302-216-541, 0244-340-437. You have heard the Energy Ministry. What do you make of their responses? Call us and tell us. Achina, I've been asked to take a brief spot of messages, but I'll give you 30 minutes to land on your points.
30 minutes.
Sorry, 30 seconds. That would have been exciting for you.
Oh, that's okay.
30 seconds, please.
Okay, no. So I'm just trying to get Animwa to understand that I get her as a consumer. I mean, we both consumers, so I get her from the consumer point of view. But I'm trying to go into the mind of the politician. They're not just looking at it from the point of view of the consumer. They're also looking at this from the point of view of the next election. There's something we call bragging right. The record should reflect that we did not have Dumso, for which reason there was a timetable or
the
not.
The records reflect that we have had Dumso now. So let's move on.
So to the extent that there was no timetable, and you would think that this is a simple point. Why is the ministry so much struggling to produce one? It's a big point, because at the end of the day, we the people who vote on election day will use some of these things as the basis for our electoral decisions.
Okay. When we come back, I'll ask you guys a question, which is more, it's come on a couple of times on our text console. Which is more important, a timetable or schedule, or solving the erratic power supply in the first place? We'll go for these messages, we'll come back, and then we'll deal with all of these issues. But as soon as we come, what we'll do is we'll open the phone lines and allow you to speak. So 0302-216-541, 0244-340-437. So let me give you guys a hint. A few people call during a break and stay on the line. I'm just going to give you guys that hint. There are a few very, very passionate people who call now and they stay on the line. Papaya will keep you there for a few minutes. We'll be back.
I need a bank account for my sister to transfer money into for my mother's sickness, and you are saying let's talk?
No, sweetheart.
Hello, Daddy. This is Kwame.
Kwame, is everything all right? It's your son, Kwame. Let me put him on loudspeaker, eh?
Oh, Daddy, everything's okay. I'm just calling to remind you of my school fees. It seems you've forgotten, oh.
You know what? I will let Aloche bring it to you at the school on Monday.
But Daddy, please send it through my GT bank account.
Hey, Kwame, where did you get the money to open a bank account?
Oh, Mommy, I don't have a Peswa, but with GT Bank, all I have to do is dial *737*1#. I answer a few questions, and my account number is ready. I own a bank account even without one CD. Daddy, this one there is special.
Do you mean if I dial *737*1# on my phone, I'll be able to open an account with GT Bank?
Yes, Daddy.
Hey, this is special.
Hey, Daddy, please tell Mommy to also open an account with GT Bank.
Kwame, I've already opened the account. We'll talk later, okay? Bye.
Pick your phone and dial *737*1#, and you are through. You don't need any money. Call us on toll-free 0800-124-000. Guaranteed Trust Bank. Wouldn't you rather bank with us? Hello, I say, how did now? Vodafone normal 10 megabyte free data. It will call Smart Rubiadron. Share.
Hello, have you heard that Vodafone is giving 10 megabyte free data for every minute you talk? You just dial 50-50.
Yeah, hello? Aha! Right now, we the Vodafone people just they call plenty. Sake of us, you talk 1 minute, you go get 10 megabytes. You talk 2 minutes, you go get 20 megabytes. 3 minutes.
Call Vodafone or any network and get 10 megabytes of free data every minute you talk. It's simple. Talk to browse. The more you talk, the more data you get. Dial 50-50 to subscribe. Talk more, browse more. Terms and conditions apply.
The future is exciting. Ready?
Durability, finishing, quality. Choosing sofas and beds for your home, office, or hotel couldn't be easier with an exclusive range of sofas and beds in various designs and colors from Latex Foam. There is so much choice, whatever your budget. Latex Foam, your partner for life.
Move on up, 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 up.
Moving on up is paying from your phone and getting looks of approval from your friends. Moving on up is doing all your banking from your bathroom like a boss. Moving on up is losing your wallet, but your money is still safe. Moving on up is attaching any bank's card to the EcoBank mobile app. Oh yeah, download the EcoBank mobile app. Make we go and bank like a boss.
Move on up with EcoBank, the Pan-African bank.
Click, send, download, server down, upload, buzz, buffer, Wi-Fi down, print, ping, call, connection lost, video call, vibrate, transfer, call, share, receive. That's the sound of the pace of business today. Airtel Tigo Business provides you with a full suite of flexible mobile plans, value-added services, and reliable fixed services for the startups, SMEs, and corporate businesses, so you can adapt, develop, expand, and progress. Contact us today at business@airteltigo.com.gh so we can help your business evolve. Airtel Tigo Business, making business simple.
It's a new day. I want you to first think big, not small. Think of how great we can be when we work together. Together, we can ensure that our hard work will provide a better future. Together, we can provide a foundation for you and your business to succeed, regardless of its size. Together, we can create opportunities for all. Bank with us today and let's journey forward together. Forward together. Cowbank, forward together.
Sanya wa jay atumo sana yeso ye jay mo ho and nothing ye wu queer the jay bro. Annie, this is the Market Day Wednesday. There is always good news when you buy from Malcolm, but there's extra super on every first and third Wednesday of the month. With your Malcolm Super Saver card, you earn a whopping 10% on all purchases worth 150 Ghana cedis and above. Naka hunu se ukede dikani ukede tosu miensa wo busumi bia mu na sajade yikoswo. Koso Malcolm shop will be a more Ghana Finance. Hurry, look for your Malcolm Super Saver discount card and be part of this fantastic offer. And just in case you don't have, walk to any of our Malcolm branches nationwide and grab one for yourself. Discount is not valid on product already on offer. And remember, terms and conditions apply. Malcolm, where Ghana shops.
Every good idea deserves a chance to shine. Are you ready to scale up yours? Are you looking to take your startup technology business to the next level? Or do you have an idea that can change the world? Apply today to the Ghana Oracle Digital Enterprise Program and receive world-class coaching and mentoring, cloud credits, and incubation with a technology hub, and so much more. Go to godep.typeform.com/2/XXTFKC to sign up. You can truly start your journey to becoming a digital entrepreneur in the Ghana Oracle Digital Enterprise Program. Apply today. The world awaits you. Ghana Oracle Digital Enterprise Program, driving digital innovation and entrepreneurs.
This week on the Joy Business Van, Ghana's first mobile salon, Salon on Wheels, the latest innovation by hair brand distributor Backup Express.
I've never seen anything quite like this before.
Yeah, this is actually first in Ghana.
First in Ghana?
Yeah, and it's made in Ghana as well. This is our TV, this is a solar TV, this is a fridge.
The solar panels.
Everything, yeah. Panels are up there, so this are LED solar lights.
CEO Becky Apia is taking a beauty business to the next level and saving ladies the hassle.
When I go, sometimes they don't get time to even go wash their hair, braid their cornrow and all. So I was like, okay, why not get something that could make them wash their hair in 5-10 minutes, get the cornrow done in 5-10 minutes, and then I fix the wake up. And I did that 1, 2, 3 times and it worked. I'm like, okay, so let me get a proper salon.
The Joy Business Van, on TV, radio, online, and on ground. It is powered by Joy Business and supported by EcoBank, the Pan-African Bank.
Morning Show.
And it's time for you to speak your mind here on the Super Morning Show on Joe 99.7 FM. My name is Daniel Dazi. We heard from Nana Damwa, who is the PRO for the Ministry of Energy. He's the head of communications, pardon me. What do you make of his responses? Okay, so if you just tuned in, he began by apologizing for the period of erratic power supply that we're in. Then he explained that by the 12th of April, we will have a resolution to it. Then he said that they are consulting with PDS before they can decide whether or not a timetable can be released. To be honest, we went back and forth on that issue. We had to let it go. So that point was also made. And then he said that actually, it's not really the Atuabo situation, but there was a delay in supply of fuel, and that is what caused the beginning of this whole erratic power supply we are facing in the first place. So those are the main 4 points, and you can comment and answer this question for me. Is it really about a timetable, like we were talking about here, or it's about an end to this bout of doom so that we have? Ikuya from Kaswa joins us on the line. Good morning, Ikuya.
Good morning, Daniel. How are you?
I am blessed. You're on air.
Yeah, I listened to Nana, and then with no apologies, I just want to find out if you are managing a country or a state and you come on national radio and tell us that it was as a result of delay in fuel supply and other issues, is he really trying to tell us that they did not phantom or get to know that the fuel or the level of the fuel is not going to sustain us for a while? Even the woman at the market, Kaswa market, is able to tell that the rate at which her plantain is going down, she needs to supply, or she needs to replenish whatever she's lost. And here we are with issues of delay in fuel. Number two, the delay in fuel as a result of what? Not paying for the previous one we consumed, or what actually happened? I listened to the guys at the studio, and then they are like, politicians don't want to say whether it is red or it is black. They don't want to even come out with a timetable for us to know that these are the times that your lights will go off. You leave the house early in the morning, the power is off. You come home, and from 5 to 11 or 12, it is off again, comes 30 minutes or an hour, and it goes off. So how do you plan your life around this? I am sorry, but I equate fuel or power supply to oxygen, lack of oxygen at the hospitals. And it's not fair. The rate at which we are living or moving, this is unacceptable. So please, with no apologies, and being sorry and telling us sorry will not fix the issues. What are they doing? What is happening? Thank you.
Thanks, Ikuya, for calling us. Ajman Joseph is on the line from Tema Community 9. Good morning, Joe.
Yeah, good morning, Mr. Dazi. I hope you're doing well.
I'm doing very well. Joe, I don't know if you're in a moving car, but there's a lot of noise where you are.
Yes.
Okay, let's make it quick then. There's a lot of noise in the background.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, the issue is, I don't like the way people are trying to, publicize this issue, because it looks as if people want to win political points out of this. That our time that was doing short, so this time around they're doing so fine. My issue is the authorities should have alerted us that this is the problem we're having. So we are going to have power crisis. Fine. We should have the timetable to deal with it. Then we solve it once and for all. But if you don't tell us anything, all of a sudden, before we see power is not around, then, that one is disturbing. So the timetable should come. I believe people are still having generators in their homes. They will manage to, cope with it. So they're finished solving the problem. This is my issue.
Thank you very much for calling us. Do I have Musa or I have Ni? Ni from Asylum Down. Good morning, Ni.
Yes, hello.
Hi, Ni, let's hear you.
Okay, all right. How are you?
I'm blessed. It's been a while since you called.
Yes, it's been a while. Okay, so what is going on is very, 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 very serious. And I want to draw your attention to the thievery that has attached to this. I was lying down yesterday. My light went off at about midnight, 12 midnight. It hasn't still come back on. And I got a message that I've been deducted this amount of money from the usual text messages that come. The ECG updating you as to how much you are using. And to be correct, yesterday I was at 100 and I had 140 yesterday. This morning, when the message came, I had 46. It didn't make sense. And then another message came that said I had 49. It doesn't make sense. And I'm telling you that they are stealing our money. On authority, I can tell you that, and I have evidence to prove.
So you've gone from 146 to 46 and then to 49. Maybe you should
49.
Maybe you should call PDS about it, because if it's behaving in this way, there's definitely something wrong somewhere, because you have been credited with something and then you've been deducted. Okay, so how about
no.
Yes, I'm listening.
The consistency, like if I have 400 Ghana every day, I see that 30 Ghana has gone up. So yesterday. The day before yesterday, I had 140. So yesterday, I expect that when they deduct, it's not going to be more than 50 Ghana cedis. But they deducted more than 100 Ghana cedis.
But have you, since this is something that has happened in the past, have you called PDS or ECG and reported this problem?
Who am I going to call? Even I want a name changed on the meter. For 3 years, it has not been changed. They haven't been able to change it. Who am I going to? We have system. Nothing is working properly in this country, and I'm so disappointed in Akufo-Addo's government. I voted and campaigned for Akufo-Addo even before Kufuor came, and now look at what he's sitting down and allowing people around him to be doing. I'm so disappointed. And look, there's a guy called Gani. They should be very careful. We'll cause an upset in this country. They will run away. They will run away.
Thank you very much for calling me from Asylum Down. Wanda is calling from Kumasi. Good morning, Wanda.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Great, let's hear you.
Okay, I will say that, you see, when we are in opposition and you promise us that, there will never be any doing so. You see, you promise us heaven and earth that there will never be any doing so. You see, you find it very difficult to admit it by just giving us a timetable that is doing so. You see, this is a very clear inhumane treatment. Pardon my words. This is a very clear inhumane treatment of we the Kazunas. Even if it is a 1 minute that you know that you are going to take power off at this particular area, just give us, we are going to take power at this particular area. As simple as that. As simple as it is. What sort of consultation that do you need to tell us that? Today, this and so areas, I'm going to take up power. It is very clear that they don't just admit that there is doing so. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Wanda. Kofi Bajema is also calling from Kumasi. Good morning, Kofi.
Yeah, good morning, Daniel. How are you?
I am blessed. Your name?
Yes. Yeah, this is Kofi Bajema from Kumasi. You see, Daniel, I don't think that what Ghanaians want is apology and explanation. No. I remember very well, President Akufo-Addo used to say, if you know the economy is broke, fix it. That is what Ghanaians want. If you know all this explanation, fix Dumso. Because we are sick and tired of Dumso. I am one person who used to criticize President Mama a lot when Dumso came to Ghana. I always criticized President Mama. No explanation was accepted to me. Now you told us that we should fix it. Now it's your turn. You also fix it. We don't want any apology, no explanation. We want our light back.
Thank you very much, Kweku. Kofi Banyuma for calling us from Kumasi. Back to Bubuashi now, and Kweku is on the line. Good morning, Kweku.
Hi, good morning, Daniel. How are you?
I am blessed. Let's hear you.
Okay, Daniel. You know, the issue that you've been discussing this morning, you see, the people can come and give the timetable, but I believe that let's give them the 12 days that they're giving to us, that they are going to fix this issue. So after the 12 days, which is on the 12th of April, right?
Yeah.
So after that day, then we realize that it's still going on. Then we can demand the timetable.
Okay.
Because the issue, as your colleague was saying in the studios, is that politicians, that's how they are. They take us for granted. They came, they promised that there won't be any doom show. But now, because the moment they bring the timetable out, they've committed themselves that there was a doom show, even if it's a day. So that's what they are trying to play around, not to do the timetable. So I believe that let's give them the 12 days. I mean, it's just about a week or some days from now.
So Kweku, you are of the view that it's more important for us to get power than for us to have a timetable.
Exactly so.
Okay. Thanks, Kweku, for calling. He called from Bubuashi. Musa is calling from Nima. Good morning, Musa.
Good morning.
Yes. You tried calling the first time, it didn't work, eh?
Yes.
Okay, let's hear you now.
Good morning to you, and may God bless you for the wonderful work you are doing for Mother Ghana. You see, when this whole issue started, then the government came and told us that it was as a result of some power lines problems in the Western region. Then later they came and told us that it was some construction work at the Pokwasi road, what, that they have to change some poles. Then later they told us it was as a result of a pylon that tilted at Kenya. Now today you are telling us that it is as a result of a problem at Twabo. How do we take you serious? Come on, government is a serious business. After all the long talks that the PR need, come to Nima now and see our situation. Since yesterday, our various small offices, the economic offices that we have shut down. You are not working. It's a problem. It's affecting us. And so what we need the government to do is to work at it, not to come and be saying we are apologizing, blah, blah, and to move to the issue of the minister. Look, Madam, please, with all due respect, we heard the minister clearly. He said Ghanaians are impatient. You understand? So if you want to apologize on his behalf, fine. But don't come and try and use some words to say, no, that was not what it means. You are indirectly telling us that we didn't hear him. You heard the minister. And that is an insult to us.
Thanks, Musa, for calling us from Nima. My last caller is Papa Ni Moses. He is calling from Achim Setre. Good morning.
Yes, good morning, my brother.
Yes, sir.
You see, I always keep telling you, politicians are liars. Don't they know that there is something called real order level and an economic order level when you are in this manufacturing business and whatnot? You are producing electricity. You know you need oil to do your business. At a point in time, there's something called real order level. You know, when it gets to that level, you should quickly have to call for more supplies.
Yeah.
So what prevented them from using those analysis? What prevented them? We are all seeing it. It is clear, Dumso. You were in opposition. You condemn people. Fix it. They fix it. They put structures in place. You came, you destroyed the structures. And now we are suffering. Thank you, my brother. Bye-bye.
Thank you very much, Papa Ni Moses, for calling us. He called us from Achim Setre. 7 minutes to the top of the hour here on the Super Morning Show. Enjoy 99.7 FM. So, a lot of comments have been made, and Ekia from Kaswe's phone call, she was actually the first caller. It's still really ringing in my mind. The questions raised there. Remember, I asked Nana after he told us about the fuel supply issue. I asked him what has happened with the suppliers, and we were unable to get a clear answer there. But really, what caused that delay in fuel supply? That's another question altogether. Meanwhile, the impact is very, very varied. Ben from DC says, Dazi, we don't normally get lights off in our area for more than an hour. So with that in mind, I drove home yesterday, hoping to watch Man U, only to come face to face with Doomsor till morning. Enimwa is totally right. You can also send in your message on 0244340437. Good morning, Super Morning Show team. Last night I slept in the dark. My room has windows all around and I woke up with rashes. Widam was constructed to provide electricity. What has come out of that? Akosumbutu, what is happening? We are looking at only Atwabo. Why? We have very well-educated people handling this economy. With no apologies, I doubt if they are applying enough or they are tied down because of politics. I also want to urge all Ghanaians to be part of the solution by paying our electricity bills as well. We cannot just complain when we are not paying our bills. Good points there, Mark Cosby. So a bit of insights that we can just share. We are moving away from hydroelectric power. So we are leaning more on thermal energy than hydro energy because of the obvious inconsistencies with water levels and rainfall and what have you. So that's a policy that, straddles governments. We started a long time ago. Akofa from Westland says this is clearly Dumsor. They should be upfront with us and come forth with a schedule. Ghanaians voted NPP to power and they must be transparent with us rather than scoring cheap political points. Someone said, good morning, Daniel. Emmanuel from Tumo with this one. Someone said in Sona, we have a load schedule and I'm determined to fix it. He was loudly described as incompetent. Today, some other persons are frantically begging for Ghanaians to bear with them with lots of explanations. The law of karma on my mind. We stayed under Dumsor for years. What did we do? We kept quiet and endured it, and some months of Dumsor we are complaining. Truly, the minister was right in telling us that. Kweku from Bubuashi. This is the same Kweku who called me. Good morning. Thanks for calling and texting as well. So it's 4 minutes to the top of the hour here on the Super Morning Show on Joy 99.7 FM. We will take another brief batch of messages together with the Joy Business Minutes. When we come back, there is a certain video making rounds on social media of a policeman who is describing his experience in a commercial vehicle. I don't know whether it's a trotro or it's a long journey vehicle. Listen to this.
My take on corruption. Last Saturday, I had to go to a funeral with a friend. While we were returning from the funeral in a commercial vehicle, we got to a police checkpoint. The driver never knew I was a police officer. I was just sitting right by his side. He asked the mate for 5 Ghana cedis. And when he stopped, he attempted to get down from the vehicle to meet the police officer. I ordered him to sit and wait for the policeman to come to the car. He turned and looked at me. Master, I said, please sit down. Do you know? I'm also a police officer and a senior police officer, but please sit here. I want to see what the police will do. The policeman came around, got into the bus, greeted the passengers and asked if there were any problems on the way, and we said no. He got down, checked the driver's license, and told him, safe journey. And the driver moved the vehicle. Then I asked him, why were you so quick to give the policeman money? What is he selling and what are you buying? Ladies and gentlemen, every human being is a potential criminal. Every human being is potentially corrupt. The best way is to ensure that we have systems in place that will make it near impossible to commit corruption. And the few that will go through it, they will be dealt with to deter others. And the punishment will be so deterrent that nobody will be encouraged to get into that. We're sick and tired. Why are you always in a hurry to give the police officer money? You are in a hurry to go. Or the police officer will arrest you and take you to court. If you are not found guilty, the court will set you free. The police officer can only take you to court and prosecute you. If you think that you are innocent, please don't worry about that. Go to the court and you'll be set free. You talk about time. He's going to waste my time. Waste your time for what? We are talking about national integrity. We are fighting a cause to ensure that this nation is packed of corrupt individuals. And if the police officer is found wrong, please report him to the higher hierarchy and he will be dealt with. I was really infuriated at the behavior of the driver. And there are many like that. If you are a driver listening to me, please stop giving police money. And if you're also a police officer who is found of collecting money from drivers, please stop it. This is bad practice. We know everybody is potentially corrupt Everybody's a potential thief, but please, for this time around, do the best that you can and pledge yourself to the service of Ghana with all your heart and with all your might. God, make this our country great and strong. Thank you.
So that was a police official wearing his uniform and making a Facebook live broadcast. Two things. Is what he's saying true? Is corruption more the fault of those who bribe policemen on the road or the policemen who accept these bribes? That's number one. Number two, is he right in the first place to have done a Facebook live broadcast when he was wearing his uniform? This is Superintendent of Police Peter Tobu. He is Executive Secretary to the IGP, speaking to us, speaking in a Facebook live broadcast there. So we'll try and answer those two questions. You know, what's the real cause of corruption? The person, the giver or the taker? And number two, can any policeman just in his uniform have a Facebook live broadcast like that? After the Joy Business Minute and these important messages, we'll answer those questions.
My name is Darryl with the